Hey guys, welcome back to the news. Today is March 5th, 2024, and I have been missing from the news for pretty much a little bit over 3 months. I have made an update video which is not public. It's unlisted on YouTube, and I'll leave a link below if you're curious of where I've been doing. But let's get to the news. The news is sponsored by Analog Spotlight, a group of photographic retailers and manufacturers who have joined together to support analog photographic media and help keep analog photography thriving worldwide. The brands are Cameradactyl, Kosmo Foto, Chroma cameras, Reveni Labs, RealitySoSubtle, Intrepid cameras, Pixl-ltr, Brooklyn film camera, ONDU cameras, standard cameras, 20th century cameras, Pictoriographica, Analogue Wonderland, Cinestill, large format camera store, Carmencita film lab, RH Designs, Imago, and Alvandi cameras. Some people maybe thought that the sponsors ran dry and I quit the news. That wasn't the case. Personal things. Like I said, there's a video for it. But the sponsors still have, I think, like 10 or 15 more episodes of the news, and then I guess it's time to talk again. But the news has gone on for 3.5 months, obviously, without me. There's people covering the news. There's been some YouTube people, some blog posts, and so on. Some of them will be mentioned here. But I will try my best to summarize all the news that I've seen or missed in the past few months. There's a few that I know are not there, so please let me know if you have realized. But I've tried to make the most important ones into the news this time. First of all, the biggest one probably is Harman Photo or Harman Technologies releasing the Phoenix 200 film. This is not new to anybody. I'm going to make a video about it and for a different reason. But basically, Harman Technologies, who is the manufacturer of Ilford Photo black and white products, basically paper and film, is releasing Phoenix. They can't release it under the Ilford color because that is from a different Ilford from the bankruptcy. So that's the reason for Phoenix and Harman Technologies as the main company behind this, because they are the main company that makes all these products. Just Ilford is a more household name for everybody. But that's the big release. So it's in 35mm color negative film, ISO 200. The film's a little funky. It's a proof of concept if you ask me. And I've had it for months. Before the news, it's just Finland has no color. So kind of hard to shoot a color film and demonstrate the properties in the winter of Finland. So that's why I never made a review. Then we have Mint's camera announcement. So they've been leaking information as the project continued, but Mint released that they're partnering with Rollei for the camera release. So the camera looks basically like a Rollei 35, and this camera is going to be called the Rollei 35 AF, and it's going to be partnered with Rollei. My main concern here is Rollei is kind of a dead name in many ways. They have basically been used to do LED lights, the glass ball you take for those special images of the world upside down. They make tripods, gimbals, action cameras, everything. They're no longer the Rollei that made the Rollei Flexes or the SL66 or the Rollei 35S or T or TE or any of this. But Mint decided it was a good move, so I guess it's their call. I would love to give credit to Mint for this project, not so much to Rollei, which I guess adds the name, maybe some funding, don't know. But that's my opinion. Then we have Pentax. Pentax has announced their camera project in maybe more detail now. There's a third video that came out maybe a week ago. I made a video yesterday about it with my opinion, but now we know the details that it's a half frame camera, that it has its own focus, which some people don't like, that it has automatic or at least electronic exposure and f-stop basically calculations, so it should expose properly. It will have vertical frame lines for basically half frame, so you'll be shooting verticals. And it has manual, advanced manual rewind. Those are the biggest things. But still no information on price. When will it be available? Will it ever be available? I said something in the video yesterday, and I should have made this more obvious at the beginning. But my information is saying that they don't have full approval to make this into a production product yet. So I think as a community, do you like this camera? Do you not? Emotions aside, we should all back it up, at least with following, talking about it, sharing it. And that's the biggest thing we can do. It's basically free. It's just your time, which in some cases can cost money, but mostly it's free. But I think this is the best way we can show them what the community can do, which is put eyes on the project, put words on the project, put attention, blogs, videos, anything on the project, to maybe make the big bosses at Ricoh, Pentax to be like, man, these film guys are way more annoying. You've seen the release of the Fuji X106. That went all over the place. Can we make noise? Maybe. I hope so for them. Then we have Ferrania with a new film stock. They have released the P33 film stock. It's a black and white film stock. As far as I know, in 35 currently. It's an ISO 160. They have a cool release video. And it's cool to see Ferrania now having the 80 ISO and now a 160 ISO, because it's not easy to make higher ISO film. It's the higher the ISO, the harder it gets to make, and more hard it is to be consistent. So it's good to see Ferrania still alive and kicking and making this product. Then we have one strange curveball from Flic film with the Aurora 800 color film. This is a 800 ISO color film, color negative, not ramjet removed cinema style photography film, but actual color negative 800 ISO film. And this is released, like I said, by Flic film in 35 millimeters. They say it's a brand new stock. Honestly, we know the players out there making color film. It basically can only be one player, and being an 800 ISO and not color ramjet removal cinema film, that means that it can only be something like what Lomography 800 has been doing, which has been always the word on the street is that it's Kodak film, maybe from the disposable cameras. But like I said, this is more rumors. The facts are Aurora 800, 35 millimeter film, color negative, pushable to 1600, available now, which honestly, except for Lomography, there's no other 800 film, and Portra, obviously, from Kodak. Then we have, they've created a little device to open their canisters. Flic film is using plastic reusable canisters, and there's some like clicked inside. They're not the classic Ilford or Kodak like stamped canisters, but they're kind of like a plastic shell. So they're kind of hard to open for labs. So they've released a little tool. So if you're a lab, or maybe you know of your lab that's having a hard time with these canisters, this is a cool tool. It's called like the film pick, or the, I don't know. You can check the video. There's a video online and their website has it available. Then, keeping with the film news, we have Adox announcing a 120 film finally. Adox has been working on refurbishing their 120 splicing and converting machine, and it seems that it's working because they released or re-released the CHS 100 version 2 in 120 film. And this has already sold out in many stores, but it's probably available in some local stores, and it's really cool to see Adox adding 120 to their basically product category. Then they have also released a very weird curveball of the Adox Helios ISO 3 color negative film. So this is, like I said, ISO 3, so extremely low ISO. It has a very heavy kind of like orangey tint to it. And ISO 3 in a sunny day, I remember Mirko telling me about this maybe a year ago. You could basically shoot with like f2 and 1/60th in sunlight. It is very, very interesting as a film. It is not as, like, Phoenix is not there yet, and Helios is like not there, and I won't say yet. So it's like a little bit more artistic, if you want to say, than the ISO 200 Phoenix film. But it's cool to see Adox being able to produce some sort of color film. It is obviously not black and white, and you can see that there's color there. There's actually a lot of color, just maybe not the colors you want. But ISO 3, creative, fun. Maybe you want to do some pinhole or long exposures. It can be like that. Then we have negative supply with new products. Negative supply is a hard one to follow, in my opinion, just because they release kind of little iterations. So I highly recommend you go to the website. They have a concierge service, which basically they help you out choose. They now even have a buyback plan or program, so you can actually send your old negative supply product and they'll give you a discount for a new one. But they've done, I think, if I'm not mistaken, new 120 and new 35 holder, and it kind of has like an insert that you remove. But like I said, slightly confusing for me. I have a hard time following up, but I recommend that you check it out if you are interested in scanning or digitizing with negative supply. Then we have Silbersalz. The film seller and lab have moved their business of lab to Berlin. So Silbersalz is less known for their lab services, but they sell cinema film in cinema format in the sense of like it's 35mm film with ramjet, not without ramjet. And they have a lab which they have made their own scanning machine with this crazy Phase 1 scanner device and color. It's crazy stuff. And you can even see scans, I think they're saying 12K resolution. It's crazy stuff. But they have moved their lab to Berlin, and they offer obviously their film with developing in-house, but also they develop other film and scan it for you, so you can shoot color plus and send it to them. But they moved to Berlin, which is kind of cool because that's a bigger city. I guess they get more attention, and it's nice to see. They're good guys there. Then we have Voigtlander with a 28mm f1.5 lens for Leica M. So if you're aware, 28mm that are f1.4 to 1.5 are usually very expensive for Leica M, but now we have Voigtlander, which is a trusted name as a third party for Leica lenses, making this lens. It's been available for a couple months. This is not new news, but it's kind of cool to see. They've also released, I have it somewhere here, the Voigtlander Apo-Lanthar 50mm f3.5 VM and Color Scobar 50mm f2.2 VM for Leica M mount. And these two lenses come in strange different varieties. One's like collapsible, one's like rigid. I completely don't understand this announcement. I recommend you go check out the link for these 50s if you're interested, because the article I saw was confusing and I didn't really understand. Was it two lenses were collapsible, or each lens is both collapsible and non-collapsible? Don't understand. So if you're into that, I like the 52.2. It looks pretty nice. Color Scobar was one of my first Leica lenses, and I really miss it in a good way. But let's continue. CatLabs film has been re-released or released. I can't remember. This is the same version of the film or new version of the film. Their ISO black and white film 80 version 2 in 120. So this is back in stock at CatLabs. Like I said, ISO 80 black and white film in 120 format. You can check it out. It's in their web shop. And I'm sure there's some other retailers and distributors too. Also, sponsor of the news, Reveni Labs has updated their light meters. The light meter, let me see, I have to read here. The Reveni Labs light meter, the one that's like a sugar cube, has grown ever so slightly to now accommodate a rechargeable battery. Reveni Labs is known that the product that he made at the beginning, or at least a few people I know, had problems with the batteries depleting very fast. Compared to some other products out there, it was quite fast. You could leave the light meter on a table, and by a little bit, you would run out of battery. Now he's released this version with a built-in battery, which lasts longer and I guess gives you better user experience. But not only that, he also released the spot meter with the similar batteries, and it also was a bit of an issue. So he released like a backpack that was screwable or attachable to the spot meter, but now he's made it integrated. So both the light meter and the spot meter get the Mark II version. You can check it on the website. It's been in stock for a few weeks minimum. And Reveni Labs have been very good products. Some people love them. Nick Carver loves his spot meter. He made even a course, and there's like Nick Carver settings in the spot meter, which is really cool. But not only that, he has also released a update on his camera tester project that's on Kickstarter. Obviously the Kickstarter's finished, but now he's given updates on improvements to the camera tester. We've been even testing one here at work, and for many things it's been working quite well. And some others we've been trying to help him with some feedback where we could help. Then we have a bit of a news from One Instant. As you know, One Instant has been manufacturing that one instant peel apart film, one shot at a time. So every cartridge was one shot. And it's always been kind of pricey considering that, you know, if we come from FP100C where it was like 80 cents a shot back in the day, then we basically now have this one instant that's not as cheap. So to lower the cost, they actually offered the option to do it yourself. I am not sure that's a good idea. At least I don't see myself being a great one instant assembler. The stuff is expensive enough for me to screw it up. But if you are into kind of maybe cutting some corners and you like one instant products, you can buy the do-it-yourself kit and you save some money. Prices I'll put on screen, or I'll leave the link below. You can check it out. During this time, Kodak also released their Super 8 camera. The thing that nobody thought would come out came out. And back in the day when they announced it, the specs were amazing. Now it came out and the specs are kind of cool too, but the price has obviously changed quite a bit. The camera comes around $5,000, and this is being taken by the community kind of like, what? But honestly, I think we've just missing who the demographic for this is. I don't think beginners are going to buy this and shoot Super 8 at $5,000 dollars for the camera, plus the film, plus developing, plus digitizing. But this is going to be kind of like a house rental camera. And it has things like you can see a digital view of what you're shooting. I think it can do audio too and some other stuff. And considering that Super 8 cameras are not really made anymore at all, as far as I know, it's pretty cool to see. And I hope that people do purchase them. I don't even think there's that many being made. So what they make might be the last what they make. So get it if you want it, and if you can test it, that'd be pretty cool to hear what you think about it. Now we have Shanghai film manufacturer hinting color film, but in their post they say color film coming soon, 400 ISO, color negative, and they say not cinema, no ramjet removal. But the picture of the film kind of looks like it has the cinema perforations, which are called KS1870. So I'm writing that down because it took me forever to figure out the name. I remember this from a different topic. For example, if you see Cinestill's film, because they are removing ramjet from the film, it has the cinema perforations where it's a bit more oval shaped, kind of like an egg. As in the stills cameras, they have more like a rectangle with rounded edges. So this Shanghai film, if it is not a ramjet removed film, then the perforations are weird and I don't know where they're coming from. And if they are just a prototype and maybe it was that cinema film, maybe not the best post to put. Just grab some other roll and slap a sticker and say you're making the Shanghai film with Kodak Gold inside for the picture. I don't know. Seems weird. But you can check out the link below and see for yourself. Rollei has launched basically what I call the custom holders or strange holders for their EZ35 system. So if you don't know what the EZ35 system is, this box product that has a light source on the bottom and lets you digitize 35mm film. And it just has extension tubes and you put your digital camera, and it's a very small setup, very fast setup way to scan your film. It's made here in-house. I literally work for the company, so take that with a pinch of salt. But they've made now the custom holders for the strange format. So there's APS, 127, I think 126, and 110 in Minox. I might be wrong in one of those. But that's kind of the sizes that you're going for. So if you are into shooting 110 film or something like that, you can check these and put it to your EZ35. They're available now. Then we have another sponsor of the show, Standard Cameras, with, I wouldn't say it's a new product. I just like that he's updated his website. So Standard Cameras make a 3D printable monorail camera, which doesn't get a lot of press. And I have one back there, which I've been wanting to do a review for the past like 4 years. And it's pretty cool because it is very affordable. He sells the files, or he sells you the ready to make kit and you make the kit. That's at least what it used to be. And it's a monorail. I love monorails. They give you movements on the front, on the back, all these kinds of things. Obviously his camera is limited by, it's simplified. It's not a CNR P2 or something like that. But for the beginner, I kind of like a monorail. It really shows you a lot of the technicalities or, you know, things you can do with large format. But his website is completely renovated. He has a building and assembly guide that's an hour long on there, so you can kind of build with him. But just wanted to leave that there. The link is below. We have a new lens for Leica M from Mr. Ding. That is correct, Mr. Ding, like like a ding. 35mm f1.8 for Leica M. And they keep saying like respecting the classics, but unless you're going for a Nikon clone, there was a Nikon 35 f1.8. They say it's a Summicron kind of inspired, but that's an f2. I don't know. You can check it out. 35mm f1.8. I think they even basically inspired the font of the whole lens to look like Leica, which I'm not a huge fan of, even though I don't like the third-party manufacturers' fonts most times, except for maybe Voigtlander. But that's available, I guess, coming soon. Don't know the price. Check the link below. Then also Typoc. 50mm f2 lens is being hinted. This seems to be also kind of like collapsible. It's called the Eureka 50mm f2 for Leica M. It's coming soon. There's an article showing it on a red video camera, which seems the most weird way to shoot this because Leica lenses are known to have super short throw for street photography and quick photography. So like you kind of want like a really long throw for cinema, like the Leica R glass that I'm shooting on, 28mm, really cool. It's not passed from the store where I work at, and I kind of love how it looks. And then we have news from the last news, actually. Kodak price reduction on Tri-X. So Kodak has been, I almost want to say like bipolar in certain ways with their price structure. One day they're bumping the price up, the next day they're bumping the price down. I'm kind of lost already. Is it Alaris pushing it up? Is it Kodak Rochester pushing it down? Who is doing what? It kind of reminds me of the meme where Spider-Man is pointing at Spider-Man and is pointing at Spider-Man. Well, it seems Tri-X is going down today. Maybe tomorrow it'll go back up. Who knows? But if you're into Kodak Tri-X, which in Europe is kind of very expensive, in the US is better priced, you got discounts. So you can now purchase it for a little less. They made an official post on social media, so that sounds like a lot more serious than just a, press release. Then we have one last news, I forgot about it. We have Brooklyn Film Cameras has released a special set of lenses for Polaroid cameras, for the SX70s. So with an adapter and a 37mm filters that they're making, you can have like multi-prisms, fisheye, swirl, and whatnot. That is available now. I also found that Retrograde or something like that makes them. I would have to check my notes. But I don't really know which one came first, the chicken or the egg. Retrograde engineer has had 37mm adapters. Maybe this is what Brooklyn Film Cameras is basically helping him, give him a platform. But these are 37mm for the SX70. You can add all kinds of filters from colors to multi-prisms to fisheyes to tele lenses and so on. If you're into the SX70s and you want creative control, this is a cool way to do it. They've been working on this, they mentioned a couple years. That's kind of cool. Working projects is not easy. Releasing physical products is not easy. So good for them. But yeah, that's been the news for this week. Like I said, I probably forgot quite a few things. Let me know. You can send an email to the email below. If you're like, hey, Nico, you didn't realize that, I don't know, Olympus is releasing the Mk2 and you didn't see it. I don't. I'm extremely busy at work and with family. Like I said, there's a video about my update in life if you care about that. But I'll stay here at the news. I dressed a little less formal today, thanks to the fact that I felt kind of like a traitor making the news after 3 months. So decided a little less, more casual, less serious. But yeah, thanks for everybody. Thanks for all the support, sponsors that are there always to help me out, people reaching out to see where I've been, family, everything, work. Like literally somebody at work set up my studio set today. So saved me some time. So thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye.